Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2024 wrap-up of the Tolkien Collector's Guide YouTube channel. We're here live to say hello to everyone, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun, celebrate what was turned out to be a pretty banner year for Tolkien releases.
I did not even realize we were going through it beforehand. We had
a
list. We had a list of things, and it was crazy. It was a super long list. There you go. There's Father Christmas right there.
Gotta get in the spirit of things here.
Okay, so everybody, before we start, direct your attention to behind Trotter, and Trotter's got the actual Father Christmas behind him there in the window.
That's right. We've got to get you a second hat so you can both wear.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't take his hat. He doesn't like it. He wants this time of year.
He's holding on to it, but yeah, it's surprisingly the Father Christmas Letters is one of the few Tolkien titles that didn't get a release this year.
No.
Yeah, we expect to see a refresh next year, though.
Yeah, we were pointing that out too. That's we listed them in the store for the picks for the store, and I was noticing it's the least amount of like choices for Father Christmas in years, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were going over the calendar. If you go to TolkienGuide and go to calendar and you click on past events, it will give you a list of everything that we've tracked during the year, and looking at the book releases, and it was over 20 new reprints or editions of refreshes from HarperCollins in the UK, more than 10 in the USA. So 30 plus books that came out last year, and kind of, a wide range of paperbacks and deluxes and special editions and the Folio Hobbit. And it was an expensive year if you were a completist and trying to keep up with everything.
I didn't realize I'd given HarperCollins so much money this year.
I didn't. Yeah, and Folio got a bit as well.
And Folio got some of my money too.
Folio got a pretty big chunk. Yeah. Also, in China, Tolkien went into the public domain according to their laws. So this is not something that the estate or HarperCollins is excited about. But there was a massive amount of Chinese editions of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings that started coming out in 2024, and I expect that will continue into the future. Abe had a question up there right now. Is there going to be a deluxe letters?
Not that we know of. Not that we know of.
Yeah.
We are under the impression that and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're under the impression that HarperCollins doesn't think a deluxe edition of letters would sell that well. Otherwise, they would have created one in the same series as the rest of the deluxe. But they must not think it's going to sell very well. Otherwise, they probably would have made one.
I think that's probably correct. They haven't said that they're going to do one or given any indications that they're going to do a deluxe, but that doesn't mean there won't be one.
Yeah, of course.
They might still, but I think it depends really on what their priorities are at the moment for books, and I think it's more around Christopher Tolkien and at the moment. So letters is possibly going to be a bit later on if they use that as a priority.
Yeah, and Trotter's definitely correct about that. I mean, 2024, this past year was really all about Christopher Tolkien. A lot of the releases that HarperCollins came out with, whether it was the box sets, the History of Middle-earth box sets, the refresh, or it was the signature paperbacks, which most of those were History of Middle-earth related. I think a lot of what HarperCollins was doing this year, they had Christopher Tolkien's centenary in mind. So a lot of the releases, that was really the theme that was centered around those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've never done a letters deluxe. I think that's the biggest point we can take away from, whether they're going to do it in the future.
I don't know, and I don't know, the trade hardback that came out. I don't know how well that sold. I mean, it had to have sold pretty well, but I don't know if
it's been reprinted. So
it's been reprinted. So I don't know if it met HarperCollins expectations or if it exceeded their. I don't know.
Well, and also they're doing a paperback as well, so which they only tend to do if there's good sales on the on the hardback. So I think the sales are there.
I do.
And people have bought it because they want to see the revised letters. They're keen on seeing those.
We do know that the sales of the original letters back in the early '80s those didn't meet George Allen Oman's expectations. I know that. Or
when they cut out loads of letters.
Yeah, because they cut a bunch out. Yeah,
cut it down. Yep.
Yeah, we had a question from Miriam. I'm going to put up here as well.
Okay.
That Peoples of Middle Earth. We did get the box sets that came out this year, the collected History of Middle Earth sets that had Peoples in it. HarperCollins has stopped doing the print-on-demand editions that were available individually. I don't expect those to come back at this point. They had the printer they were using for print-on-demand went away, went out of business, wasn't producing the editions they used anymore. And so they spent, I think, a year looking for a new printer that could take over that. And then they did the box sets instead and have pretty much stated at this point that they're not going to do print on demand anymore.
And the reversible jackets are actually part of that as well, because that's to give people a chance to have the original.
I think the print on demand. I think the print on demand was probably more trouble than it was worth for from HarperCollins' standpoint.
Yeah. There is the signature paperback if you just want to read the book. That's still in print. I think Mr. Underhill's going to go grab his copy to show us. But
so there is. This is the current of Peoples that's in print. This is option A, or you can do option B. If you wanted the hardback, you would at this point you'd have to buy the box set. If you wanted the hardback, because I don't believe they're available in single volume. Not that I've seen.
No, they're not. You do get the index along with Peoples, which is a fantastic resource. It collects the indexes from all 12 volumes and combines them. So it's really a handy resource when you're trying to find things spread out across the history of Middle Earth. You
can also purchase the index
in the paperback. Well. Yep.
Well, I think we just had a quick mention about the signature paperbacks, and we're talking about them. I think they've been great. I've been really impressed with them. They have been. I'm going to hold up a random one I had in front of me. And there's quite a lot of potential, certainly for the UK ones, as to what can be done. I'm not so sure about US ones, but there certainly is for UK editions. I think we could have every single book that's ever been out in paperback can be released as a signature paperback in the UK. There'll be a lot.
Urulókë was just showing the Tom Baum. This is the William Morrow edition of Tom Baum. You can see, Jeremy, if you hold yours back up again, you can see
they're different.
They're different.
The position of the signature and the title was swapped. The layout very slightly different, and the sizes are different too. If you hold Mr. Underhill and I up next to each other, you'll see. I'm kidding. But if you hold the books,
you can reach across the internet.
The contents, they're identical, I think, inside that, aren't they? So it's just really the covers in this case that are different.
The contents are identical, yeah. But we were talking before we started the stream about the history of Middle Earth, if they were going to do the signature paperbacks in the U.S. And because of the license deal with Ballantine Del Rey, the split which books are available in paperback in the U.S., we're not going to see a unified set history of Middle Earth in the U.S. For a long time.
Not for several years,
please. So,
which is a shame. Which is a shame because it's a shame that Del Rey or Ballantine won't produce a full history of Middle Earth set, because the ones that they've done for a mass market paperback, they're not bad. This one is like just. If you're anybody who's watching, if you're not familiar with the covers that they do, that they're currently in print, they're not bad covers for mass market paperbacks.
I like those. Yeah,
no, they're nice. Actually, but it's a shame it's not all of them.
It's a shame that it stops with. This is volume 5. It's a shame that it stops with volume 5.
They stop with 5, and they retypeset those. So the U.S. paperbacks, volume 1 through 5, do not have the same pagination, and so you can't use the index, easily with the Ballantine Del Rey paperbacks. Yeah, what else did we have this year? We had the Lord of the Rings blue, I'll put leather in air quotes, set that came out. You can find our YouTube video review of that. We had the Folio Hobbit, which was a massive deal, selling out incredibly fast. We have a whole YouTube stream on that one if you want to look more carefully at it.
The Folio Hobbit sold out in, what was that, 12 minutes, 15 minutes? Boys, what was that? Something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around those numbers. I lost count because they actually turned it on a few minutes early. They started taking orders, I want to say, about 5 minutes before the official launch time. So it's a little fuzzy.
Those cheeky Folio people turn them on.
I know. And from what I can tell, the numbers were pretty sequential. People who ordered earlier seemed to get lower numbers, so I can understand why there was a mad rush to order as soon as the site was working.
Yeah, because you do want the lowest number you can possibly get, or at least most people do. Most collectors want the lower number.
I don't know so much now whether that's as important as it was in the past, because it was different the way the numbers were handed out in the past. It was more like you had to write in, and if you wrote in early, you'd get your. Nowadays, it's all just milliseconds on the computer.
Was that the way that HarperCollins handled the Children of Húrin, Sigurd and Gudrun Limited? Did you if you wrote in and asked for a lower number, you got one?
You could actually ask for different numbers, but it took so long. That took 5 years to sell. So obviously, if you wrote in the first year, you're going to get a much lower number than 5 years later. But they mixed them all up in the end, though. By all accounts, they were all mixed up in the warehouse.
I did not see any pattern, really.
Yeah,
I mean, the first orders they shipped out were definitely the lowest numbers, but after a while, you were seeing people getting, in the low hundreds, and then someone would get a 470 something, and then someone would get 283. Like they were just all over the place.
Yeah, I think Bodleian was doing sort of something similar with the Maker of Middle Earth that was signed by Priscilla. Yeah, because that took a while to sell out too, and I think towards the end it was just like whatever numbers they had left.
Yeah,
like the last few that got ordered.
Well, if you put them in a warehouse and you don't put them in the right sort of order, or you rearrange the warehouse, all the numbers are all over the place at that point. So if you do that, yeah. And again, I'm not quite so sure how important it is nowadays. We'd like to have a look at that and see whether people think it really is. What number it is, does it matter anymore? As long as it's one of the numbers.
I have not seen any difference. And I mean, you'll get the single digit numbers will sell for more, but I haven't seen any come to market. But in general, I think super low numbers get a little bit more interest, but after that, there's no difference.
I haven't seen for all the folios that have come up on the secondhand market. Jeremy makes a good point. I haven't seen anything below about 200 come up for sale on eBay or anywhere.
Yeah, I think the really early ones were grabbed by collectors, and then it's most the people who were reselling weren't as fast on the uptake.
Yeah, because if you bought two or you bought three and you're interested in, you're going to obviously sell the higher numbers and keep the lower number for yourself.
Well, I bought two, and the first one it took me about a minute to get through for the second one, and the difference in the numbers was 200.
What number did you end up keeping, Trotter?
I'm not sure what number it is. It's
Jeremy, what number did you get? Do you remember?
Let me look.
I got 340.
If you remember, I was waffling for a while.
I know.
I ordered about 5 pass, and I got number 874.
874.
Okay. I got a 300 one. I think somewhere in the 300 was the first
I got 340. I'm still waiting on my replacement, but I'm assuming it's still going to be 340.
It'll be the same number. Yeah. It'll be the same number.
Yep. Yeah. So. What else? We had, I can hold these up. The Abusan catalog
yes,
for their
yes.
exhibition was
Yeah.
released. Fantastic. And this will tie in a little bit to our what's coming next. Sometime next year, I don't have the date in front of me. All of the tapestries will be on exhibition in Paris. So take a look at your calendars, and if you want to see, they're fantastic. I've seen, I want to say 3 or 4 that were at the BNF exhibition in 2019 in Paris. They had a handful of them in that exhibition.
I think there's 15 on display in
Yeah,
Paris.
there are. There's quite a few.
15.
So they are so impressive to see in person. They're massive. I want to say 4 or 5 meters tall for some of them. One of the wide ones was like 10 meters wide. They're massive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cover your castle wall in one of these things. It's not for home exhibition. Let's put it that way.
I'm
become a
certainly
feudal lord
looking
and
forward
acquire a
to
castle.
Yeah, I'm planning to go and see those because I just think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's easier to get to than Orbison, which isn't that easy to get to. Paris is a much easier place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trotter, so you're going to make the trip, Trotter, over to Paris to see?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I would love to. I have no expectation that I can make it to Paris next year, but that's well worth the travel if it's at all possible.
Well, yeah, I think if
Um,
people can get there, then why not go? And that brings us on to another thing that's happening next year, which is the Tolkien Society's event in the US.
I may not be able to go to Paris, but I will be going to Kansas
Very
City.
interesting. Picking the US. I wonder why. The fact they've got more people now in the Tolkien Society in the US than anywhere else. It sort of does make a slight bit of sense to.
Yeah, I wonder what the. I did hear that there's more members in the US now. I wonder what the ratio is.
It's got a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's very big. Yeah.
It's many hundreds. It may even be like 1,000 more members in the US.
Wow.
I don't have any information in front of me, but it was significantly larger in the US at this point, just as far as registered members.
And we still can't get History of Middle Earth in paperback, all 12 volumes in paperback.
Well, you
just got to order them from Blackwell's or
I have to order them
from
from
Amazon or
Well, you can have a talk there and then just say, "What I'm just complaining about things like that," and hope that William Morrow actually turn up. And
I plan to show up and do a lot of complaining when I get there.
Not complaining, yeah. That's the company.
Yep. But yeah, on Westmoot, I mean, the keynotes look awesome.
They do.
It's Janet Croft, Anna Small, and Donato, artist. I have no idea if he's going to bring any of his larger paintings. We were just talking about the Aubusson tapestries, and I think Donato gives them a run for the money and size.
That might be quite hard to transport and have anywhere there you could actually put.
He's
in the museum, you could pick them up.
You think he
could probably put them up.
You think he'd have to check those in his luggage, or he could carry those?
I don't think they would fit in the back of an 18-wheeler. I don't know how he ships those things.
Right,
They are massive, but yeah, that's super exciting. What else we've got? So yeah, we've had some fun on the site. Obviously we have enhancements planned up the wazoo, but the letters guide has been doing well. You can check out our YouTube video where we talked earlier this year about updates and the anniversary of that. I've started tracking Kindle price drops because, as you know, at least in the US, I have not seen any price drops in the UK, but in the US, every couple of weeks, some Tolkien title will go on sale for.
It seems like every few days we get a price drop.
Yep.
I think there have been some UK ones, but you seem to be getting a lot more price drops in the US than we're getting in the UK at the moment, which I don't know why that's the case either. But anyway, they should be the same, really. I don't see why they're different.
It's I think it has to do. I think the price drops are with the agreement of the publisher, and so I think the US HarperCollins is much more amenable to doing that than HarperCollins UK would be my guess.
Jeremy, this is something that I just noticed. Trotter, are you wearing a George Allen and Unwin hoodie?
Oh yeah, when he first popped up, I congratulated him.
I didn't notice that till just now.
Yeah, no,
that's when you designed yourself, isn't it?
Well, they designed it. I just stole their design.
I'm sorry. You slapped on the. I know.
Yeah.
I think I need that. That's not something I knew I needed until right now.
Yeah,
it's a great design. It's
yeah,
really, it's a really nice.
Yeah, I've got.
And no one knows what
up on here. I've got my dragon T-shirt on, that's a Donato original. I actually bought
it. It is
off of him, and he gave me permission to use it as my avatar and stuff. So that's my favorite little dragon avatar icon I've got there.
Well, what was y'all's favorite release from 2024? Favorite volume that came out? Favorite box set, perhaps? Favorite paper?
I'm going to go for the calendar because I really like this year. I think
the
this
calendar.
John Howe artwork on that calendar. Yeah,
I think absolutely brilliant calendar, and the fact that you get really, really nice images inside. If people don't have this, it's fantastic artwork in there.
Yeah.
And it's definitely get the calendars nowadays. I think they're really well done.
I'm looking forward to putting mine up in a couple of weeks when we get to 2025.
And the Beyond Brie calendar was quite good as well. I'll give that.
The Beyond Brie calendar was fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one. Very well edited. Very well edited.
Very well edited. Very, very well edited.
Very well edited. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can go through 2024 without mentioning.
Yes,
at least once more. We had a wonderful interview with Wayne and Christina. Go check that video out as well.
We'll put a link to that in our notes.
Absolutely, in the show notes. Fantastic collection. It's going to take me all of 2025 to actually read through and really digest.
I haven't even finished the first book yet.
Yeah,
so
I've still really only scratched the surface with the poetry book. I've been so busy with work and doing other things. I'm excited to continue to read through that.
Yeah,
I think it's going to take years for.
It's a great volume.
The scholarly digestion and starting to really compare the new poems that we've seen there with all his other published work. It's just such a massive undertaking to pull all that together and get it to us. So that's a full paradigm shift, I think, in Tolkien studies is going to be going through those poems and really learning more about what he was thinking about throughout his life as he wrote those.
That's a shame, Jenny. That's not.
I wonder. Maybe Father Christmas has come and visited. I guess.
Oh, somebody's aware of early delivery by.
Hey,
Father
somebody
Christmas.
peeked. No peeking. No peeking of the Christmas gifts before Christmas.
Yeah. Well, our partner in crime on the trail evidently got an early peek at his Christmas present, and
he peeked too.
Forced to wait. That's never a good thing, but
it's never a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned on the trail, I do want to. This is something we just started last year, but we sort of have the three of us decide on our own, just the three of us, on the person who made massive contribution to the site and to the community and on the trail. I know you're out there somewhere. You are a fantastic help with the Tolkien Collector's Guide, the amount of effort you put into the letters guide. We have a forthcoming bibliography guide that is owned and managed by On the Trail, Phil. So we there will be a small Matham showing up at some point when the U.S. mail system gets its act together for you to enjoy. It's been awesome having you on the site. We really wanted to acknowledge that and give you the 2024 Tolkien Collector's Guide Contributors Award. So thank you so much.
Well done. Very well deserved.
2024 is the year of On the Trail, definitely.
Absolutely, and hopefully 2025.
Hopefully he doesn't go away. You know, you're not done yet.
You're not off the hook. Absolutely. Yeah, and what else? One of the other traditions that we have is sharing Mathams. Mine went in the mail a week ago and are still in the mail. So we'll pop those up sometime early next year.
We'll post those. We'll post those when they come in.
I had so much fun putting those together, so I'm really upset that they didn't get there in time. But that's totally on me for not mailing them in October. But yeah, I do. I got some fun little ones from Trotter. I wanted to share those just because they were so much fun. We had a little bookmark put together from the George Allen Unwin letterhead. So one of the letters from our massive collection of letters in the guide. Some of them are on official stationery, and so just a fun little bookmarklet that we can use based off of their letterhead. And of course, with that were some postcards from the Bodleian, which are always fun. And in fact, if you go to the Bodleian shop online, you can still order a bunch of licensed Tolkien Mathams, if you will, postcards, greeting cards, advent calendars.
I think those postcards are still there. The
postcards
advent
are still there.
calendar
Yeah.
Isn't, which is a shame. I think they should bring back the Father Christmas one, because that was really good. And I'm going to try and get them. I'm going to have a word with Catherine McAway about that, see if I can get her to bring that back again, because I think that was really nice.
I doubt it's up to Catherine. But
no, but she can ask. She can ask.
True.
Yeah.
Trotter, mine was I was looking for mine this morning and I realized that I'd set it under this other thing that I recently got, this little wreath.
Oh yeah, the wreath.
I had it stacked on top of that.
That's great, the little read. So
yeah, I love the I'd like to find Lord of the Rings one day. I just have the Hobbit right now. I'd like to find Lord of the Rings one day. That one's tougher to find.
Yes. Well, they were both £1 when they came out, and then you could take it back to the shop and give it back, and you got £1 off the book.
That's
so
a really
I
good
think
deal.
a lot of those people took them back again, and that's
Yeah.
why they're not around. And actually, because obviously if you like it, you want £1 off the book, so
Yeah,
you just hand that back again. Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know, these little reads, they just have chapter 1. That's just it's not the whole book, it's just chapter 1. But anyway, I'm getting us sidetracked, sorry.
Oh, no worries. This happens to all of us.
No problem with that.
Yep. So next year, we have a couple more signature paperbacks that are coming out. We've mentioned Westmoot. Let me see if I can throw this up. Just a screenshot.
We think there'll be a deluxe Hobbit, like the deluxe Lord of the Rings that came out. With those.
Yeah, we're using our context clues on that one there.
Yeah, exactly. Every time the Folio does a really high-end deluxe Allen Illustrated edition, it seems like HarperCollins does more of a trade version of that a year or so later. So
but it's still good. They did a good job on that one. Yeah.
Yep. This is coming out next year. So it's a box set collecting the academic works edited by Christopher Tolkien
We're very excited about that.
Yep. I grabbed a screenshot of the William Morrow, but obviously there's a HarperCollins one coming out.
It's the same.
This box will have reversible dust jackets, just like the History of Middle Earth. And this box exciting too, because this is the first appearance of Sir Gawain in hardback with that cover art. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely. That cover art was absolutely brilliant on the paperback. It was really really nice, and I think that they actually used one of the in-house designers came up with that. I showed it to them and said, do you think this would make a good cover for Sir Gawain? Well, as opposed to trying to use an earlier version or something from the past. I think it's really nice. I like that,
because up until now, that's only been available in paperback, and we've always kind of wondered why it's only been available in paperback. But now, now we would have it in a hardback, which is
there isn't a US version in paperback either. It's only in the UK that it's got that cover.
Yeah, the Sir Gawain that's available in the US is it's a Ballantine mass market paperback. I don't have it ready. I'd have to dig it out.
Yeah, I don't have it behind me.
It's like a it's like a green. It's like a really light green. And it's the cover art kind of like in the same style that I just showed for the Lost Road. It's the same sort of style. But yeah, so that's exciting. Couple more signature paperbacks.
What Roverandom, Smith of Wooten Major.
Yes.
Letters will be coming out in paperback. We mentioned that earlier. But
yes,
and that's actually a different cover as well, because they've actually hand colored in Tolkien. So
it was a black and white picture on the hardcover.
Yeah.
Is that hand colored in?
It's hand colored. Yes, it's not done by AI.
So they didn't have AI do it.
Don't get me
started. They didn't. I asked about that. No, it's hand colored, which is nice.
Yeah. So outside of what we know is coming, we noted before we got started here that next year is the 70th anniversary of the Return of the King.
Yes.
Usually they celebrate Lord of the Rings in the 4 years, not the 5 years, because that's when Fellowship and Two Towers came out, was in 54. So I don't expect anything massive for the 70th anniversary Return of the King. I think we got the blue air quoted leather slipcase set. This one, this set.
I'm not sure it's leather. It's something, but it may not be. It may not be. It's leather in the loosest definition of leather.
It says leather in the promo materials, but that's about all we can give it.
There are a few anniversaries for next year. That we've got Leaf by Niggle is 80 years old next year. So Gawain is 50 for the Christopher, which is why I think that's a Gawain set's coming out. That's 50 years. The other ones, and the original Sir Gawain is 100.
Yep.
So the 1925.
Oh, that's true. 1925. Yeah, 1925. Yep. That's in my volume's in the other room. Otherwise, I'd go grab it. But
and
I want the Leaf by Niggle. Leaf by Niggle is available in a standalone paperback right now, and that's the one with the bicycle on the cover, I believe.
Yes.
I don't know what HarperCollins would do for.
Well, it's in Tales from the Perilous Realm, which is also coming out next year in paperback. So I think that could be why that one's, which has some new illustrations. So we think it's probably Pauline Bain's illustrations in the. Not Alan Lee, but we'll find out, because Alan Lee's done some of the stories in there. He's illustrated them. Pauline Baines has illustrated them as well. I'd like to see Pauline Baines once again. They're in Poems from Stories originally, but I'd quite like to see some of those done in Tree.
Can we talk about? Are we allowed? Or can we talk about what maybe a Lost Tales, Volume 1 and 2? Is that?
I'm hopeful to see something there.
Is it? I've heard whispers of maybe like a 1 volume, like a Lost Tales 1 and 2 in 1 volume.
It's possible. I've heard rumors of it being illustrated.
Yes, that's what I've heard as well, of it being illustrated.
I'd love to see it reset as well at some point, and actually all the errors taken out of it as well. That's a massive job.
As long as they keep the pagination the same, I would love that.
Yeah,
I think
errors, but keep the pagination the same.
That's a pretty. I mean, there's a lot of errors in those books. Yeah. So that would
it's
be
a very big job.
That would be a big job. Yes.
Yeah.
That just deciding to reset it could delay it by a year or two. I would estimate.
But
I think at some point now it should be reset. So you've got to take that decision and decide to reset it.
Yep.
Because otherwise you're just going to carry on with the current version, which is basically got too many errors in it. Really, That's the problem.
Well, it's been since 1983.
83.
Yeah.
And they haven't reset it yet. So they're in no rush. Let's put it
They've
that
had a
way.
long time to reset.
They've had opportunities and they haven't taken them.
Yeah, but I am hearing whisper. I don't, nothing's confirmed. I don't know anything, concrete, but I have heard whispers of an illustrated Lost Tales, maybe 1 volume. But of course, that's a speculation thing.
Yeah.
But that would be really fun if that were.
It would be fun.
It would be, and again, it's a massive big undertaking if you were to do that, because they're pretty much going to be all new illustrations. They're not going to be existing ones, so they'd all be new pretty much. So a lot of new illustrations in there.
Yeah, and anytime we do new illustrations, that's always a cause for celebration.
It is, because we've got some great Tolkien artists around.
A lot of great Tolkien artists currently working.
Yeah. So to close out, I just want to say thanks to the two of you. Thanks to On the Trail, obviously a huge part of our team.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to all of you out there who are watching this or seeing it later. We really appreciate your support. We really appreciate you using the site as well. Absolutely. We got huge plans for next year. I won't go into too much detail. I tend to curse things by pre-announcing them.
Don't say anything.
Keep your eye out. We've got big plans, and a lot is in motion. We just got to get it over the hump and get it out to you, because we're super excited for 2025, and we will see all of you early next year. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everyone.